Why are so many people convinced Lexie Hull was secretly cut from the Indiana Fever because of locker room drama with Caitlin Clark? The rumor is everywhere. It's all over comment sections and social media, but it hinges on a complete and total lie. Here is the official WNBA transaction log for the entire 2024 season. Lexie Hull's name is not on it. She was never waived. She was never cut. The story is fake. But the reason the story exists, the reason it spread so fast, is the real story. The internet is overflowing with clips of supposed awkward body language, missed high fives, and frustrated looks. The surface narrative, the one everyone wants you to believe, is that Hull, a third-year player, was a victim of a locker room split, pushed out by the arrival of a generational superstar in Caitlin Clark. It's a story of jealousy, of tension, of a team divided. It's dramatic, it's juicy, and it's what everyone is talking about. But that's not the story. The reality is that Lexie Hull's exit never even happened. This entire event is a fan-manufactured drama. And what's fascinating is that this fake story accidentally reveals the real truth of that locker room. It reveals the crushing, unsentimental, and purely mathematical pressure that every single player on that roster is under every single day. The truth isn't about personal feelings. It's about roster spots, salary caps, and brutal business decisions. So today, we're answering the 3 questions this bizarre rumor creates. First, what is the viral story claiming Lexie Hull was cut from the Indiana Fever, and what evidence are people using to pin the blame on Caitlin Clark? Second, how do the Indiana Fever's actual 2024 roster, the official league transaction logs, and the team's salary cap sheet completely disprove this entire narrative beyond a shadow of a doubt? And third, and this is the most important part, why does this fake story persist? What real locker room truth does its very existence reveal about the incredible pressure of playing with a generational star like Caitlin Clark? We pulled the official logs, we have the 2024 salary data, and we read the fine print in the collective bargaining agreement. The receipts tell a story, just not the one you've been told. So what is this story? Where did it come from? It didn't come from a major sports reporter. It wasn't an official team announcement. It bubbled up from the darkest corners of social media, in comment sections and on fan forums. It was a narrative built from 2 very flimsy pieces of evidence. The first piece is body language. Fans became amateur psychologists analyzing grainy, out-of-context clips. A 10-second video of Clark celebrating with Aaliyah Boston while Hull is walking away. A clip of a bad pass where Hull doesn't look at Clark. A moment on the bench where they aren't sitting together. These tiny, meaningless moments were stitched together to create a highlight reel of supposed tension. People would post them with captions like, "See, she hates her," or "The locker room is divided." This, of course, ignores the hundreds of positive interactions, the high fives, the huddles, and the simple fact that they are professional athletes in the middle of a game, not actors in high school play. The second piece of evidence was Hull's statistics. This part, at least, is based in fact, but the conclusion drawn from it is pure fiction. Lexie Hull's minutes per game did drop in 2024. Her field goal attempts per game also went down. This is an undeniable statistical fact. So the internet detectives combined these 2 things. They took bad body language and added fewer minutes, and they invented a conclusion. Clark must not like her, and the team must be phasing her out to please the new star. The story then morphed, as it always does, until the new truth became that the team had quietly waived or secretly cut Hull to solve the drama. They created a complete narrative of a jealous veteran being pushed out by a rookie superstar. It's a clean, simple story, and it's the one everyone started to believe. There's just one problem with that entire, detailed, dramatic story. It is 100% provably false. Lexie Hull was not cut. She was not waived. She was never traded. She did not leave the Indiana Fever. Let's look at the receipts. This is the official WNBA transaction wire for the 2024 season. This is the public log of every single player movement in the league, every signing, every trade, and yes, every waiver. We checked every single entry for the entire Indiana Fever season. Her name is not on it. Not in training camp, not in preseason, not midseason, and not after the season ended. This isn't an opinion. This is a fact. This is the official league record. Lexie Hull was on the Indiana Fever's opening night roster. She was on their final roster at the end of the season. She appeared in over 30 games for the Fever in 2024. She was on the bench, she was in the box score, she was in the team photos. The entire exit premise, the very foundation of this whole drama, is a complete and total lie. Which means the locker room drama motive is also pure fiction. There was no betrayal. There was no backroom deal to get rid of her. There was no jealous rage that forced the general manager's hand. The entire event that people are analyzing, debating, and getting angry about simply did not happen. It's a ghost story, a rumor that took on a life of its own until people accepted it as fact. So this is where it gets really interesting. If it's so fake, if it's so easily disproven by a 1-minute search on the league website, why did it feel so real to so many people? Why did this rumor have legs? It's because the kernel of the story, the tiny seed at the center, is absolutely real. Lexie Hull's role on the Indiana Fever did change. It changed dramatically, and it changed for one reason: Caitlin Clark. Let's look at the data. In 2023, before Clark arrived, Lexie Hull was a developing rotational player. She played about 15 minutes per game. She was finding her role as a 3-and-D wing. The offense had to find points from everywhere. Now, fast forward to 2024. The Fever draft Caitlin Clark, one of the highest usage players in college basketball history. They also have Kelsey Mitchell, an all-star guard. They have Nalissa Smith and Aaliyah Boston, two former number 1 and number 2 picks in the front court. Where does Lexie Hull fit into that? The ball is correctly in Caitlin Clark's hands. The offense runs through her. When Clark isn't running it, Kelsey Mitchell is. Hull's job description changed overnight. She went from being a potential offensive option to being a deep bench defensive specialist. Her minutes dropped. Her shots disappeared. This is not drama. This is just basketball. This is what happens. When a generational talent arrives, everyone else's role shifts. Everyone has to adapt. What fans saw was a real, tangible reduction in her role. They saw her playing less. They saw her on the bench more. And they, incorrectly and unfairly, assumed this professional, tactical reality must be because of a personal, dramatic conflict. It was an easier story to understand. It's much juicier to believe in a catfight than it is to analyze a team's offensive usage rate and rotational depth charts. Fans saw the effect, fewer minutes for Hull, and invented a cause. She must not like Clark. So if Lexie Hull wasn't fighting Caitlin Clark, what was she fighting for? The answer is much more stressful and much more real. She was fighting for her next contract. She was fighting for her financial future. Let's pull up the salary cap sheet. This is the real locker room truth. Lexie Hull, as the number 6 overall pick in the 2022 draft, was playing the 2024 season on her 3rd-year rookie-scale contract. Thanks to the WNBA's collective bargaining agreement, we know exactly what she made. Her 2024 salary was $76,791. That is not a typo. $76,000. Now, the 2024 season was her 3rd year. The 2025 season is her 4th and final year on that rookie deal. After 2025, she becomes a restricted free agent. This means her performance in 2024 and 2025 are her auditions. She's playing to prove to the Fever or to any other team in the league that she deserves a second contract, a contract that could finally pay her life-changing money. Now imagine that pressure. You're fighting for your career, you're trying to prove you belong, and your team just drafted one of the biggest stars in sports history who plays your position and another lottery pick in the front court that also needs the ball. The pressure on you is immense. The stress is unbelievable. The truth of that locker room isn't, "I hate Clark." The truth is, how am I going to get a single shot attempt tonight so I can prove I deserve to be in this league next year? The real fight isn't personal, it's professional, it's financial. That is the tension fans are sensing. They just mislabeled it. They called it jealousy, when in reality, it's brutal economic pressure. And this brings us to the real, final truth that this entire fake rumor reveals. It's not about Lexie Hull. It's not really about Caitlin Clark. It's about the WNBA. The WNBA is the most competitive, cutthroat professional sports league on earth. Why?
Because it's the smallest. There are only 12 teams, and per the collective bargaining agreement, Article 12, Section 1, there is a maximum of 12 players per team. That is it, 144 jobs, total, in the entire world. For comparison, the NBA has 450 regular roster spots, plus another 90 two-way contract spots. The NBA has over 500 players, the WNBA, 144. That pressure, the fact that there are hundreds of other women who want your specific job, is the truth of every WNBA locker room. The pressure isn't just to win games. It's the pressure to simply survive, to keep your spot, to not be the one waived when the team needs to sign a hardship player, to perform every minute you're on the floor because you might not get another one. This rumor, this fake story about Hull being cut is so believable to people because the consequence is real.
Players get cut for business reasons all the time. Great players, veteran players. It happens every single season. It's just so much easier for fans to digest a story about high school drama, about jealousy and tension, than it is to face the cold, hard reality of the business. The fake story about Lexie Hull and Caitlin Clark isn't about them. It's about our own desire to see simple, emotional drama instead of the complex, cold, and calculated spreadsheets that actually run professional sports. So let's be clear. No, Lexie Hull was not cut. She was not waived. The entire story pinning her exit on Caitlin Clark was a fabrication. It was a fake narrative built from out-of-context clips and a misunderstanding of how basketball teams work. The rumor was fake, but the pressure it was based on is 100% real. The pressure of a shrinking role, the pressure of a $76,000 contract that's running out, the pressure of playing on a 12-woman roster in the most exclusive league in the world. The real takeaway here isn't about imaginary catfights. It's that the WNBA is a brutal business, and every single player, from the #1 pick to the 12th woman, is feeling that pressure every single day. That's the real locker room truth. This business-first, numbers-driven mindset is the secret language of every successful front office. To see how it really works when millions of dollars, draft picks, and legacies are on the line, you have to watch our Locker Room Confidential playlist next. It breaks down the playbooks general managers use that they never talk about in press conferences. Click the box on the screen.